about 13 years. I am the only non-attorney and non-politician up here. And I think San Francisco needs a little better balance on the board and representation from the business community in San Francisco. I have over 20 years of experience in small to large companies, from working my way through high school and college at small businesses. I then obviously went on to Quaker and then on to a small company called Oracle back then, which we grew that. I was then called to San Francisco to do about 5 different startups. A couple of them were bought by Google, and off and running we went. I was invited back to Oracle to run North America for consulting and engineering, and ran that large organization for the past 8 years. My concern with the city is a budget, jobs, accountability, and growth, and that's what's really driving me to change my life and to really get involved in my community as well as my city that I love so much. My partner and I live in Diamond Heights. We own our home. We also own some rental property here as well that we're very concerned with. We're just very invested in the community. We think that we need definitely more balance on the board. Business community is not represented equally on the board at all. We have a lot of attorneys. We have a lot of civic workers on there, which is great. I just think we need more of a voice. So I think my skills from negotiating large contracts to acquisitions at Oracle are going to come in handy. I also have managed large budgets as well as large organizations of people, and have been very successful at it. So I've had a great career, and it's just time for me to make a change, and I think I can be an asset to the city. So, thanks.
And you bagged 2 minutes. Rafael, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Yari. Thank you, Noe Valley Democratic Club, for bringing us together again. I'm Rafael Mandelman, and I do not have as much time in City Hall as some of my opponents. And if that were the only qualification, then I would not be the right choice for District 8. But I think I've spent enough time in City Hall to know what's wrong and what needs fixing. And I think I've spent enough time in San Francisco's neighborhoods to know what's great about this city, and to know that often it's neighbors who know best what needs to happen in their neighborhoods. So, what are my qualifications? I am, as Yari told you, a lawyer, and I represent local governments around the Bay Area. I've worked with housing authorities to tear down and replace thousands of units of dilapidated public housing. I've worked with redevelopment agencies throughout the Bay Area to revitalize downtowns. And I've worked with planning departments and city councils, city managers to negotiate with developers and ensure that new development benefits existing communities. I think my experience in land use and development and affordable housing is one of the reasons why 5 of the current members of the Board of Supervisors have endorsed me. You know me here as a Democratic Party activist, and I have, as a member of the county committee, as president of this club and of the Harvey Milk LGBT Democratic Club, stood with workers and worked to expand access to health care. I've marched and rallied and been arrested a couple of times with the hotel workers. I've walked the halls of City Hall to lobby for Healthy San Francisco and to try to protect funding for our parks and for our public health system. And I think these are some of the reasons why I've been endorsed by the California Nurses Association, by the hotel workers, by the members of SEIU 1021, and by the San Francisco Labor Council. I've served on boards in the city. On the board of Livable City, an organization that works for more plazas. We can talk about that later, I'm sure we will. But for better streets everywhere. These are the people, and I've worked to make Sunday streets a reality in San Francisco. I'm a long-time fighter for reform at Muni. That's not something that I've just discovered in the last year, and I think that's one of the reasons why I've been endorsed by BART Director Tom Radulovich, by the founder of the Bicycle Coalition and the founder of the new organization I'm very excited about, the Transit Riders Union, Dave Snyder, and by the Sierra Club. I've been a commissioner on the city's Building Inspection Commission and on our Board of Appeals, and on the Board of Appeals I earned a reputation as someone who stands up for neighborhoods and who stands up for historic preservation. And that's why I've been endorsed by former Planning Commissioner Gigi Platt, who was fired by Dianne Feinstein for showing excessive independence and who became the grand dame of historic preservation in San Francisco. And I've been endorsed by former Planning Commissioner Dennis Antinori, who was fired by Willie Brown for the very same crime. I've been endorsed by current Planning Commissioners Christina Olagi and Catherine Moore and Bill Sagaya, and they cannot be fired by the mayor because of reforms that I worked for and that many of you supported. Finally, I grew up in San Francisco. I've ridden Uni since I was 11 years old. I studied in the neighborhood libraries. I ran cross-country in Golden Gate Park. I know what it's like to grow up in San Francisco. And I think that I want every kid, as I've said before here, I want every kid in San Francisco to have the same opportunities to survive and thrive and give back that I have had. And I think that's why I've been endorsed by the United Educators of San Francisco and by Assemblyman Tom Amiano. I know that the voters in this city are tired of people who fight for no reason. But in my history and my work, I've shown that I fight for things that matter, and I want to fight for you. So, thank you.
I know people like to applaud, and I don't want to be unfair to Rebecca or Scott, but we really need to keep things moving. So, and at this point, Rebecca, a little over 3.5 minutes. Thanks.
Thanks, Shari. San Francisco is facing extraordinary challenges. Challenges that aren't going to be fixed by politics by ordinary means. I'm running for supervisor because I believe in San Francisco, and I believe in the concept of San Franciscans. And together we can shed our differences, knock some heads, and make things work again. What separates me from everyone else behind me is that I have the passion, the skills, and the experience to bring people together and make San Francisco work again. I've been working, yes, in City Hall, and yes, sometimes outside of City Hall over the last 14 years. I've connected with hundreds of San Franciscans, both in this district and citywide. I understand the neighbor who needs a reliable ear at City Hall over a planning issue. A merchant who's trying to open up their small business and needs the light fixed right outside their door. The parent who wants to send their kids to public schools but doesn't trust them because we're not giving them our best. The young person who's moving to San Francisco because they fell in love with the Golden Gate Bridge, the gay flag in the Castro, or maybe even Glen Canyon Park. The senior who wants to be here and stay here despite the rising costs of our city. Despite all of this, every single person in this room has chosen to live in this city because we love it, because we want it to work, and that's exactly what all of us do every day. That's what I want to do as your next supervisor. Fight to make City Hall work for you. As the mayor's special assistant, the liaison to this district, and the LGBT liaison, as a recreation and park commissioner, as Bevan Duffy's legislative aide, as an assistant district attorney, I've worked on countless neighborhood issues. I've handled and managed park bond funds. I've worked to keep our streets safe. I understand the problems and the needs, and I'm learning them on a whole new level throughout this campaign. San Francisco is facing extraordinary challenges, extraordinary policy challenges, budget challenges. This year we were able to use sutures and fix things just for now. Next year and the year after that could be much, much, much worse from what I hear from my friends at the Visitors and Convention Bureau. Money is not coming in as it should. Property taxes, we all know it. We're all paying more for our muni passes. We're paying more for our parking tickets. We're paying more every day, but we love the city and we want it to stay here. What we need is to check politics at the door and have someone who can work with everyone across the spectrum. Moderate, independent, progressive, whatever your particular label is. Union, progressive, moderate, business, downtown. We have to shed those and we need to work together, and that's what I offer. Thank you.